What happens when the school's most feared bully picks the wrong black girl to mess with? He thought she'd back down when he shoved her. He thought she'd shrink away like everyone else. But he was dead wrong. Something explosive was about to happen. Stay tuned. An elite private school for the wealthy, the privileged, and, if you ask the right students, the right kind of people. Right now, all eyes were locked on a single scene. Raven Tate had just rounded the corner. Drama was the last thing on her mind. She had AP Calculus in 5 minutes and a quiz waiting for her, but the universe had other plans. Because standing dead center in the hallway, blocking her path like some second-rate movie villain, was Grant Wheeler. 6'2", blonde, built like a linebacker, and worst of all, arrogant. He had money, he had connections, and he had a nasty habit of treating people like they were beneath him. Today, his target was Raven. She knew what was coming before he even opened his mouth. Grant leaned against the lockers, a smirk tugging at his lips, his voice dripping with mockery. Well, he sneered. Looks like someone got lost. You? Sure you're in the right place, Raven? A few students stopped. Others slowed just enough to watch. No one said a word. Because at Sterling Academy there was an unspoken rule. When Grant Wheeler picked on someone, you stayed out of it. Raven's fingers curled tighter around the strap of her backpack. She wasn't in the mood for this. She'd spent too many days ignoring his comments, too many months pretending his words didn't sting. But today felt different. She exhaled sharply. I don't have time for your garbage today. That was the wrong answer. Grant's smirk widened. Oh, you think you can talk to me like that? He stepped closer, towering over her. You don't belong here, Tate. This school isn't for shove. Raven barely stumbled, but the meaning behind it was loud and clear, a warning. A challenge, a mistake. Gasps rippled through the crowd. A few students pulled out their phones. This wasn't just bullying anymore. This was a show. Raven tilted her head, locking eyes with Grant. You really don't want to do this, she said. Her voice calmed too. Calm, Grant scoffed. Or what, you going to run and cry to a teacher? Go ahead, little girl. This ain't your place. Another shove harder this time. The crowd tensed. Raven rolled her shoulders, exhaling slowly. All right. He asked for it. She dropped her backpack, and before Grant could blink, bam, in one swift move, Raven grabbed his arm, twisted her body, and flipped him over her shoulder. Grant hit the floor hard. A loud, sickening thud silenced the entire hallway for the first time in his life. Grant Wheeler wasn't on top. He wasn't the king of the school. He was flat on his back, staring up at the ceiling. His pride shattered into 1,000 tiny pieces. Silence, then, oh my God, someone screamed. Then came the laughter, then the claps, then the cheers. Raven adjusted her backpack and stepped over him like he was nothing but a speed bump. Told you, she said, her voice as casual as ever. The crowd exploded. People were high-fiving, phones were out recording, someone even yelled "World Star." Grant groaned, rolling onto his side. His face beat red, his hands clenched into fists. This wasn't over. Not even close. By lunchtime, the whole school knew what had happened. Videos of Raven flipping. Grant had already gone viral on social media. Yo, she straight up destroyed him. I didn't know Raven could fight like that. She's a freaking ninja, bro. People who had never even spoken to Raven before suddenly wanted to sit with her. They wanted to know how she did it, where she learned to fight, if she could teach them. But not everyone was happy. Grant wasn't just humiliated. He was furious, and he wanted revenge by the next morning. Sterling Academy wasn't just talking about Raven flipping Grant Wheeler. They were obsessed with it. The video had blown up overnight. It wasn't just on student group chats anymore. It had made its way to Instagram, TikTok, and even Twitter. The title, Rich Kid Gets Destroyed by Black Girl at Elite School. But while the school laughed Grant Wheeler seed, he had spent years building his reputation, years making sure that everyone at Sterling knew his name, feared him, respected him. And now he was a joke, a meme. And there was only one way to fix that: by making Raven Tate regret she ever embarrassed him. Raven should have seen it coming. Maybe if she wasn't busy dodging high fives and answering non-stop questions about her martial arts training, she would have noticed. The whispers. The way people looked at her with a mix of admiration and fear. The way Grant and his boys stayed unusually quiet that morning, watching her from a distance. But she didn't. So when lunchtime rolled around and she got a text from an unknown number, "Meet me at the gym after school, no cameras, let's settle this," she barely hesitated. Of course it was Grant, and of course he wanted a rematch. She wasn't scared, she should have been. Sterling Academy's gym was huge. High ceilings, polished, with floors championship banners hanging from the rafters, but at 4:15 p.m. it was empty, or at least that's how it looked. Raven stepped inside her sneakers, barely making a sound. The second the door slammed shut behind her, she knew she wasn't alone. "Big mistake coming here." Tate Grant's voice echoed through the gym. Raven turned, and there he was. But he wasn't alone. Behind him stood three guys, Hunter, Mason, and Tyler, his goons, big, dumb, and loyal to Grant, no matter what. So that's how it was going to be. Raven side 4 against 1. "Wow, you really must be scared of me." Grant's face twitched. "Shut up." He took a step forward, then another. His eyes were different now, darker, meaner. "This isn't about being scared," he growled. "It's about respect. If you're enjoying this story and want to hear more, hit that subscribe button. Now don't miss out." Raven crossed her arms. "You mean revenge?" "No," Grant smirked. "I mean making sure you never forget your place." Raven's stomach twisted because she'd heard that before from people like him. People who thought they owned PL, like Sterling, who thought people like her didn't deserve to be here. She took a deep breath, pushing the anger down. "Stay calm, stay focused." Grant swung first, a sloppy wide punch full of rage, no control. Raven dodged effortlessly, twisting to the side. Amateur. Then Mason lunged. She ducked, sweeping his legs. He collapsed. Tyler came next, trying to grab her from behind. Bad move. She elbowed him hard in the ribs, crack, and he stumbled back, gasping for air. Hunter hesitated. Big mistake. Raven spun, kicking him square. In the chest, he flew backward, hitting the floor with a thud. 3 down, 1 left. Grant's face was pure rage now. He rushed at her, throwing wild punches, desperate, sloppy, weak. She dodged every single one, then bam, a lightning-fast kick to his gut sent him staggering. Raven stepped forward, grabbed his collar, and slammed him into the gym floor. He gasped, stunned. She crouched over him, her voice low, dangerous. "Don't ever touch me again." The gym was silent. Grant groaned, rolling onto his side, his goons still on the ground, defeated, humiliated. Again, by the next morning, Sterling Academy had a new queen. No one feared Grant anymore. They feared Raven. No one whispered about her behind her back. They whispered about what she would do if you crossed her and Grant. Well, he learned the hard way. There are some people in this world you just don't mess with. Did you love that? Then hit that subscribe button. More insane stories coming soon.